Good morning, guys. What's up, E? Good to see you, bro. Today is April 23rd, 2021, Friday, and getting into the charts as usual. Another morning live stream, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every weekday of April, like every weekday of this month. And what I basically do on these calls, hop on the charts, go through the pairs I'm paying attention to, go through, mark them up. Also, if there are any pairs that you guys request, that you guys want me to walk through, give my opinion on, and mark up live, go ahead, ask, type in the live chat. Be sure to go over before the call-ins. Also, you want to talk about anything, I mean, just talk, right? Just type it out in live chat. And working on actually syncing Discord to it so that you guys can hop on the Discord as well, so like you can actually talk on the call and not just have to type. Other than that, there's one requirement to stay on the call, and all you gotta do is hit the like button. That's the only thing. And then also hit the subscribe and notification bell to keep up with future content, future live streams, and future videos that I post. So today I went ahead and turned up my voice volume because I realized I was kind of low. I like the chill atmosphere, but I also want to be able to be heard. So let's see how this works today. And let me bring up the chat. But how is your stuff going, E? Emmanuel? I know last time we talked you said you were making some progress. Let's stick on EJ. Alright, so getting the charts. Getting to the charts, basically gonna review the setup that I have on. If this is gonna load for me. There we go. Alright, so got a setup the other day, I believe 2 days ago. Took the entry here and looked for price to push up. I'm looking for about a 7-to-1 opportunity on here. It looks like I still have not edited this completely. Price point should be about right. I know I adjusted that. I must have been playing with it on the with the other broker. But this is essentially what my setup looks like at the moment. I sent out the official screenshot, basically the one that I did out on live, and that was pretty much no filtered on that. And right now, like, yeah, price is just chilling at this area and looking for a rejection here. Now this trend line, like based off these two touches, I don't draw trend lines like this, okay? This is just a rough draft. I need 2 touches before the current area, which I'll show you guys in a second, and it'll make sense why I decided to just do this instead of drawing it all the way out. If that doesn't make sense, don't worry about it. It's not that important, at least right now in the situation. But let's go ahead and get into the full markup of Euro JPY. If this is your first time hopping on, I'll go ahead, do a review of the pairs that I've already talked about in previous calls, and I'll also go ahead and do a full markup on every single call so that I can get more practice in, and if someone wants to basically take a piece of what I do and use it for their own strategy, they can do that. But starting off, talking about my strategy, it's real simple. I just use market structure. I look for impulses, and impulses just tell me the direction of the market. Strong aggressive candles moving in one direction, that's an impulse. And then after that, I look for a correction, which are small consolidating candles moving in the opposite direction of the impulse. Okay, if I get that, I go ahead and find an opportunity to enter and look for a potential continuation, right? And the continuation is just the same movement as the original impulse. That's pretty much all I look for. Same thing upside down. Impulse down, that means the market's looking to go down. Correction going up, that means I'm looking for the market to go down. I find an entry area and then look for that continuation. That's pretty much all I do. Delete that. Alright, so now let's do the full markup. I do top-down analysis. So, in top-down analysis, just using horizontal lines, trend lines to box price in as much as possible. But what's up? Hey, we got E and J on. How y'all doing? Hey Jay, I haven't looked at your messages yet. I've been just trying to get through my morning routine so far, but I'll look at them and respond later. So I've actually had an idea as far as like when it comes to, I don't know if I would do it for live streaming though, because as far as when it comes to backtesting, like I saw this guy. I listen to a lot of lo-fi, if y'all don't know. Every single time we hop on these live streams, the background music is just lo-fi. It's like a lo-fi live stream. And I was thinking like for my backtesting sessions, I could like record those and just have lo-fi in the background. And because I saw this guy MD Prospect doing it, and I was like, that's pretty interesting. I wonder if anyone's doing that for like trading, and I didn't find anyone doing that. Most of the lo-fi stuff is like just animations, and people aren't actually it's not actual people like studying, at least the ones that I found. There are a few people that do it, but I think it would be interesting to try. I think it would be fun. Alright, so here, this is where we're at right now, and this is the trend line that I was talking about earlier. Basically, we got two touches down here, and we can tighten it up a little bit. And the reason I made it shorter is so that I don't have to scroll back and forth like this, like I'm doing right now. Alright. But yeah, so price is right here. It's basically formed pretty much an expanding triangle. Can't really call it a flat pattern anymore because both of these lines are angled now. And look for price to push up. If we go down to a lower time frame, since I already took the 4-hour setup, I'm actually looking for a day trading entry, basically to scale in and make this position larger. Right now, we had a descending channel. Price broke out of it, gave a smaller time frame correction. We have a impulse here, waiting on a correction now, and then after that, well, if price does set up, give us this pattern, we'll go ahead and enter, or I'll go ahead and enter for a buying opportunity to add to this position I already have on. And just right here, it's about a 5-to-1, and could potentially stretch it up to our current TP. I'd like to see what pattern actually forms here and what, yeah, and what level it's likely to reject. So here's a little nugget, because I don't share too much info about technical analysis, at least anymore. At the beginning of live streams and stuff like that, used to do that a lot. So I don't really talk about these zones, but they're basically support resistance zones. And something of note, when price gets to these zones, like if you don't know what my entry confirmation is, a simple way or a simplified version of it, if I say I'm waiting for an entry confirmation here, basically something to look for, and this is something to test. You want to see it in your own trading, because obviously things don't happen all the time, and you want to figure out if it works best for you and how you trade. Once price gets to this level, you could wait for a doji, right? or in a different sense, you can wait for a long wick candle to overshoot the pattern, or not the pattern, but the zone. And after the close of that, usually it will close within the zone or right below it. And after that, that's pretty much where the entry signal comes. Just something that I've noticed over the past, what's it been like, over the past like 120 trades or something like that. It seems to be a common trend. And that pretty much gets rid of going down time frames for the people that know my strategy in detail. Notice that I'm gonna start, well, I've already started backtesting it, and it's working out pretty well, avoiding me from having to check the charts every 15-30 minutes when price is there. Alright, so this is the setup on EuroJPY. Let me make sure my alert's there before I move on. Next we have GJ. 1 second. Demolish not all the way being set up. Okay, GU. So GU, I've been looking for a buying opportunity here, and been looking for it off of the 1 hour time frame, I believe. Here it doesn't really make sense off the 1 hour. But basically what I've been looking for is for price to correct and get down to the 61.8. Now, the way that price has gotten down here, it's honestly, I don't like it because of how steep it is. I like this to be more exaggerated waves. So what I'd like to see here, let me move this further to the right. It looks like I'm going to be waiting a little bit longer. What I'd like to see actually form here now is the second wave going up. One more coming back down, and then I look to enter at this level off the 61.8. This was a nice opportunity, but when price got here, it didn't give me an entry confirmation. So, I mean, I'm not gonna take the entry if there's not an entry confirmation. So, wait for price to come back down and give me another confirmation. Let me set another alert here. Yeah, that's about it. So let's do the full markup on this one. And this is the last of my particular pairs that I'm paying attention to. Hopefully it's nothing. Alright, off the daily we have an uptrend. Gonna start the uptrend from this level. Just go straight up like that, connect 2 touches, and then push it up a little bit higher. Right there. Now, since the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the year, I was actually looking for this to sell for a long time. And if this trend line does break, I would love to see that sell. But as for now, since the price is above the trend line, continue to looking for it to continue to push up. Let's go, and if we break down off the daily, if I can zoom in a little bit tighter, we have an impulse here, we have a corrective pattern forming here, right? But it's a whole lot cleaner on the lower time frames. This is why I'm not considering a daily setup here. There we go. Yeah, here off the 4 is pretty much perfect. And same thing. Now, price does have the potential to shoot up, but like I have no problem with missing this opportunity. This is not something I'm going to be taking on a regular basis. This is, to put it in simple terms, it's a whack ass setup here. All right, so I need something better. Forget if it's control or alt. It's control. Alright, and that's pretty much that's my setup on this one. Pretty much the level again is pretty much this equal low here, or yeah, we can just say this is equal low. And that will be the level I'll be looking to buy off of. And I'll send this out as an updated version. No entry signal on original. Alright, all good. Let's go back. Alright. So all week we have been paying attention to AUD Swiss. Since earlier this week it was requested. Gonna go ahead and take a quick look at that and see how it's doing. Okay. So it's your first time looking at it. Let's delete these lines so it's not confusing. First I'm looking at it with us, basically on the higher time frame. Believe it's the daily. Off the daily, we have an impulse here. We have this correction, and ideally, love for it to come back to this zone and give us a buying opportunity. But there's a possibility that on the 4-hour time frame, I believe the setup was on. Yep, on the 4-hour time frame, this impulse and correction has a potential to push up. All right, so our initial entry. Alright, sorry about that. My internet disconnected, or my laptop disconnected from the internet or something. But like I was saying, got an impulse up on the 4-hour, got a correction here, and initial buying opportunity was off this zone here. And I believe it looks like the 61.8. Yeah, about the 61.8, right below it. And that was the initial entry confirmation. Now on the lower time frame, we saw another opportunity, got an impulse up, and then a possible correction, a possible entry off a correction here, off that level. Basically a scale-in opportunity, but all throughout there has been a risk because of the daily setup. Daily setup hasn't necessarily gotten too close to this trend line, and price has the potential to fail this pattern and continue down to this level before continuing up. But basically what I said earlier this week is, if I was trading this, I would definitely be willing to take the risk here, the initial risk for this entry here, and then if price does scale down and fail this pattern, I'd be willing to re-enter at the bottom too. Alright, if price reaches this level. The reason for that is if you lose here, you lose 1 R. If you and if price gets here, I mean, you lose 1 R with the potential of a gain of about what? Just the estimation. I mean, of course, like you have to define your own like stuff. Potential of about 8-9 R. Right, that's what I would shoot for initially. And also, if price breaks through that, you have a larger potential there. But I won't be too ambitious with it. And then if you lose this and then you enter here, you have an even greater possible return of about 12. All right, so it's a really good opportunity, really low risk in my opinion, and worth both entry opportunities. So that's all Swiss. UJ, believe our setup canceled the setup the other day. I said I will close it because of how it was moving with the a descending channel here. All right. Now yesterday, I don't believe the 2-to-1 was hit. All right. Yeah. So I was closing it about at this point, about that level. All right, and we had about a 1.8 R or something like that. So if we had a 1.8 R, it must have been on this candle here. But yeah, so that was UJ. Price didn't really like play out the way that I wanted to play out, but it's still scaling down towards targets. But no worries, let's go. And I mean, I believe that's all the pairs that we've talked about this week. All the pairs that I'm going over. Again, sorry for the cutoff in the middle. It was like just technical issues. Nothing I could really control. But yeah, so I'll be sure to send out any entries that I take. It doesn't look like I'm going to take any new entries today, other than possibly Euro JPY, but honestly, it's unlikely from what I'm seeing. If it does happen, it's probably going to happen in the middle of the day, and I won't be on the charts in the middle of the day. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Please go ahead, hit that like button if you liked it, and I will catch you guys in the next one.